Tonight on Stars in the City, special guest, funny guy Des Dowling, our resident psychic Gavin Reichel, and lots more. Now here's Julie Ann.
Hi, and welcome to the very first episode of Stars in the City. Each week we're going to be bringing you a magical cocktail of all things mystical, astrological, psychic, and joining me each week, Mr. Gavin Reichel, psychic extraordinaire.
Oh, thank you very much for that. I'm looking forward to the show. It's going to be terrific. So
it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to be looking at horoscopes, so we'll give you your weekly horoscopes. And also we're going to be looking at some celebrity charts.
I can't wait.
And also tonight we've got Des Dowling coming in.
Oh, he's funny.
Yeah,
That'll be good,
he's
yes.
a funny guy, Des. So Gav, what people might not understand is that I'm an astrologer, you're a psychic. Obviously we do things a little bit differently.
Yeah, and I use part of your world and you use part of mine
Yeah,
too, so
exactly.
that kind of works.
But I'll be looking at things, for example, when our special guests come in, I'll be looking at their astrology charts and looking at where the planets were when they were born. Whereas you tend to use more of your psychic abilities and you use the cards to find things out.
Yeah, mine's more immediate too. So, I mean, you will look at someone's birth chart and be able to tell them all about their personality and what their main driving force is and why they eat too much and all that sort of stuff. Whereas mine's more, people tend to come and ask me a question. So they'll go, why is it that my boss is picking on me, or why is it that I can't work out my money situation, or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Which is useful for astrology too. I mean, you can do lots of things in there
we
too.
can work that out for you as well, but it's just a little bit of a different flavour, I guess. And hopefully over the coming weeks we'll have some great guests and we can discuss all of these things with them.
Oh, that and all the celebrities. I can't wait to do that.
I know. But the interesting thing is 2012 conjures up all that doom and gloom about the Mayan calendar ending.
We're going to be here for 2012. That's awesome. Well, we hope we are anyway.
Well, it's meant to end in December. So the December solstice is when it's all meant to come to an end. It's really interesting because people ask me this quite a bit, is the world going to end? And I never think the world's going to end. I look at, yes, there probably could be some big difficulties this year. That's not, there's going to be more earth changes, earthquakes, hurricanes, all those kind of things that we've been experiencing, and we could be experiencing some very, very difficult things like that. But at the end of the day, the planet will still be here as it has been.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think that a lot of the social structures that exist and have existed for us for a little while now are probably going to have to be. They're going to have upheaval too.
We've got to change. We've got to change the energy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Mayans just ran out of paper. You know what I mean? I think that they I think they actually tried to mark a point in time that is a definite turning of the world that is going to change the way fundamentally society works. So, but what that means is, I don't know. Everyone's got their opinion, and so do we. So.
Yeah, exactly. And our opinion is it's a shift over time.
Yeah.
But we are now at that point where the time is now. You've just got to do it. You can't sit back and wait with your life, with anything at the moment. You've just got to change.
Well, and do all the things that you're scared of.
Yes, exactly. The more scared you are of something, the more you should be doing it this year.
Absolutely.
Well, they are two of the biggest Hollywood stars today, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Brad Pitt is a Sagittarian and Angelina is a Gemini. So once again, we've got this opposition of opposites attracting. And Gav, that's always an interesting situation when we've got the opposites attracting, because it's almost like they need the other person to balance out their
I don't know how it looks in a chart, but certainly when you look at it in people's cards and you lay them out, they tend to be sort of the gap that's missing on either side.
Exactly.
So one's kind of got either, I don't know, dark and light, or they have a mothering, nurturing, and then, the opposite of that. So they tend to, you tend to see that.
That's really interesting because, Angelina is all Aries and Gemini, and she's got Venus in Cancer, of course, right on her ascendant, so she looks like Venus, like she's just full on
the epitome
of beauty, that's it. And Brad Pitt's all Sagittarian, which is a very sunny, bright energy, but he's got a lot of planets in Capricorn, which is a more of a downer kind of energy, really. So I think they've both got those kind of pieces to their personality, and they come together and it kind of balances it all out.
Yeah, definitely. They There must be quite a lot of challenges with that though too, because you would have, although, you know, it's like not being a whole person, you have to kind of find it in another person all the time. And I think, I do wonder, and maybe this is a reach, but I wondered whether the menagerie of children that they have that goes with it,
they're holding it
all together.
Yeah, absolutely they are, because, you know, I look at their chart and I think, oh, you know, it's going to be a rocky road ahead.
Really?
In their composite chart, when you've got two people, you can put their charts together and work out what's happening with the relationship. And the planet Uranus is just about to go and shake that end of the descendant. So that means quick, sudden change, things that you weren't expecting. So it's something like they could go get married, like it would be a big surprise or something that people weren't expecting, or they could break up, which people weren't expecting.
Definitely not.
And so, you know, we kind of look at this, and well, I look at this and think it's, you know, it's going to be a really interesting year for them. A lot of news coming out. But anyway, why don't you pull a few cards and see what's...
Well, what questions are we going to ask? That's probably a better way to go.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people want to know, are they going to get married? Because I think they've got all these children, and even the kids apparently are saying to them, when are you getting married? When are you getting married?
Really?
So I'm wondering if it is this year that they might, or whether it's, you know...
So let's start with Angelina.
How does she feel about marrying Brad?
How does she feel about marrying Brad? Not marriage in general, marrying Brad. Yeah. Shape-shifting. So for her, that would be probably a fundamental change to who she is. So she would have to be someone different, not so much different to marry Brad, but it would change her fundamentally afterwards.
Well, she's been married a couple of times.
Yeah,
so
I know, but to look who she's been married to.
Yeah, I know. But also, I guess there's that element of her, and that this comes up in her chart, that she changes when she gets into a marriage situation, and she doesn't know how to hold her own energy.
Do you think that's maybe why they've waited? So
yeah, I think that's the reason for both of them. Yeah.
Okay. Whereas I think Brad would quite like the idea of marriage. I think that for him, this is a pleasure, but it also represents the idea of, you know, safety and nurturing as well to some extent too.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
It's the experience of being a happy life, and a fulfilling life. So yeah, I'd say that's on the cards.
Well, I'm not so sure, but let's see how it all pans out. And we're here with our very first special guest, comedian, TV host. What is it you can't do? Des Dowling.
Hi, Julie. There's quite a few things I can't do. I'm very bad at lassoing, that sort of stuff. But that's pretty well it. That's
you're pretty
well
much it, I could tell.
It's the lariat bit that gets me, but yeah.
And so what are you up to at the moment?
Just running funnyguys.com.au, doing gigs around town, working on a little show you might have heard of called Melbourne Property TV.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, that's very big in the Channel 31 field.
It certainly is.
And yeah, basically just gigging, doing that.
Great.
Appearing on high-profile Tonight shows like this one.
Exactly. And I can tell from looking at your chart. Now, you do know we're doing an astrology reading here.
Yes, I know.
You've given me the information.
All right.
You've let me delve into the depths of your soul, and you're okay with it.
Shouldn't I be on a couch or something?
Yeah, I think, well, I don't know. It depends.
All right.
This is a proper astrology chart based on, get serious, based on your date, time and place of birth.
Right.
We got that information, some of it from your mother.
Yes.
And...
where is she?
I don't know.
Okay, no, I just thought I'd ask.
Is she going to be watching?
Yeah.
Hope so.
You'll never catch Dad. Northern Territory's a very big place.
So once we've put all that data into the computer, you come out as a Gemini Sun with Gemini Mars. So we've got two of you sitting here.
We're both very happy to be here too.
Two of me sitting over here.
Yes.
There's four of us all taking part in this, which is
crowded.
it's very crowded, but fun. And Gemini is all about communication, very quick-witted and very, very quick with their thinking and talking.
I forgot.
You forgot, exactly. Except for you.
Yeah, right, that's what it is.
The other thing about Gemini is they've usually got a phone welded to their ear, and I've witnessed you firsthand doing phone calls, a bit of this over here, lots of things all at once, all happening.
Up here from the brain. Yep, I do a bit. I work on the phone, but everyone has their phone nowadays.
Yeah, but you're a special case. What I'm saying is because you're like a double Gemini here.
Yeah, I'm working
with Mars.
I'm working two psyches.
You work.
Yeah.
You work in everything, every angle, no matter which way you look at it. It's coming up that you just want to communicate. You want to talk to the world. You're on that phone doing
business.
Doing business. Right. And the reason for that is that you're Capricorn rising, so you're a pretty ambitious kind of guy.
Am I?
So you're not really the usual sort of laid-back Gemini type. You have to be involved in business somehow, some way. You want to be in charge.
Right, well, that's true.
Yeah.
I can vouch for that.
And the other side of your personality is this really caring, warm, fuzzy Cancer side that you probably don't want me to go into.
No,
because
I love kittens.
You love kittens.
Yeah.
You love kids.
I've got a
you
big
love
heart.
puppies.
Big heart.
Oh,
sometimes I weep at sunrises. That's how sensitive I am.
I know. I can tell.
Can you?
Yeah.
Is it all on this? Is it all on this iris-like chart here?
It's all here in the chart, but it's kind of not what you present to the world. So it's
right.
like
I'm blocked off.
No. You're a Gemini, so you've got one thing going there,
right.
and you've got another thing going on over here.
Right.
And that's that sort of split personality thing that people talk about Geminis. We get a bad rap too because that two-facedness.
Yeah.
You know, when's the evil twin coming out? Have you got an evil twin in there, Des?
Yeah, I probably have. I think Geminis are... Well, I probably don't say things that I want to say.
You hold back.
Yeah, my whole family does that. We don't really say what we're thinking. We just have a cup of tea and don't mention it.
I think that's some of the Cancer stuff. That's that ability that you don't want to hurt people.
I'm a hypochondriac. Oh, we should stop saying cancer around me.
We're talking Cancer, the crab.
Oh, well.
The sign of the zodiac.
Well, it is. I sometimes think I've got it. So.
No, you've got 3 planets, including the moon, in the sign of Cancer.
Right, okay.
So that's the nurturing family side of you. And so when you're with your extended family, you don't want to be mean because you want to be. It's not about
keep
that.
The peace.
You're definitely the peacekeeper.
Blessed are the peacemakers.
Yeah, that's you, certainly. And the other thing is that, you know, your own family is really important to you. Like you would kill for them.
No.
And it's that sort of. You look like you have.
Actually.
I'm a bit taken aback there.
Is there a cold case show on Channel 31? I'll probably do that as well. Just hang around and do that next.
Yes, well, you could. Now, the other thing about Gemini at the moment is that we've got the eclipses happening in Gemini, Sagittarius, so there's a lot of change going on. There's some big things coming down the pipeline for you, I'm pretty sure. So
not Cancer though.
No, big good things.
Good things, business.
Good things,
That's
business
why I'm on
things.
the phone.
You've got the planet Saturn going through your business house at the moment, which is good because that's doing business, that's getting things done. It's hard, it's tough, but
should I be taking
rewards
risks?
are there.
Should I spend more on marketing at funnyguys.com.au?
I think it's a time of hard work. I wouldn't be making too many risky things at the moment. Nothing too rash, but it's certainly a time to be consolidating and just getting yourself out there. Yeah, but taking huge risks at the moment, perhaps not a good idea.
Does it mention a logie in there anyway?
Well, yeah, I mean, awards and things like that are something that Saturn can often bring you for your hard work over all the years, and you've been doing this quite a few years now.
When am I going to take off, Julie?
I think it's going to be a long, long time before you retire, Des.
All right, good.
Thanks
Are you getting
for
all
coming
that from this chart?
Yeah. This is what surprises people because they think of horoscopes as being the things in the newspaper.
Yeah.
That are like 1/12 of the population this is going to happen to.
No, the weirdest horoscope I ever read was it said a good day money for Gemini. It was a good day money-wise, possible head injuries.
That was the best one you ever read.
It said possible. I think someone got in and just played around with it and it got through to the paper.
Oh,
possible
no.
head injuries.
It doesn't sound like an astrologer to me. It sounds like a sub-editor or someone, you know.
Yeah, someone.
Exactly.
I've got a lot out of that. Thank you, Julie.
Thanks for coming in, Des. And if you'd like to find Des, I'm sure lots of you will after that, funnyguys.com.au.
And if you find my dad, let me know too.
2012 is a year of the dragon. Astrology is so important to the Chinese, and the Chinese Year of the Dragon is so special that many of them have their children this year. And it has caused a mini baby boom with a rush on hospital maternity beds. Other dragon years include 1964, 1976, 1988 and 2000. The dragon is a beautiful creature, colourful and flamboyant, an extroverted bundle of energy, gifted and utterly irrepressible. Is it any wonder that Hollywood is full of dragons? They include Russell Crowe, Keanu Reeves, Rihanna, Adele, Courtney Cox and yours truly. I'm sure most of you have read your horoscopes in newspapers and magazines to find out what's happening in your life, but astrology is so much more than that. When I take on a client, I need their birth data, which is the time, date and place they were born. So it all depends on where the planets were, and we put them all into a chart. So, Gav, it's much different to what people think, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you get people's, you know, they read the Herald Sun or the Age or whatever
yes,
it is, or Woman's Weekly, oh God, and read their sun sign and think, oh, but, you know, how can I fit in 12 people in the world?
1/12 of the population is all experiencing something that they're going to be hit by a bus next week. And that's where people think it's rubbish. But the things that we're doing go back thousands of years. All the ancient civilizations look to the stars. There's just so much history and culture in astrology that's
well,
amazing.
It's interesting. I mean, astrology has become much more psychological in its modern format. But, you know, traditionally it was very, you know, that planet has hit this, you will now die.
Absolutely. And the interesting thing, it was used by kings and by leaders, you know, to work out what's going on and when are the days to, you know, move forward and push something and when are the days to hold back. And that's sort of, you're looking at the essence of time, and that's what people, they understand that in some ways, that it's sometimes, you know, you can be, things going really easy for you, and other times it's you struggling, it's really difficult. It's about picking the moment.
Well, I think for some people it's nice to know that, you know, Mercury is in retrograde. This is why nothing is working.
Yeah, exactly. Don't sign anything, don't go anywhere.
You know, so that gives people a sort of a context for the reason that, you know, there is upheaval. Or also, suddenly, you know, I've won Tats Lotto and I've got a water fortune in my pocket. Where did that come from?
I know.
So it's rather than a divination tool like I use with tarot, which is much more relaxed, this is much more of a science. It's actually quite exact in its
it's very precise, and it's based on where the planets were when you were born, but also, of course, the planets are moving as we speak, and it bases forecasts on where the planets are moving and how they're shifting. So it's something that's coming back into vogue a little bit because people are so interested to know what's happening in the future.
Absolutely. And it's also the reason why you should probably see a real astrologer rather than reading, you know, your sun signs and horoscope. But even some of the books that are out there are not particularly detailed. So it's good to actually go and actually get a consultation and have someone explain what's going on. Because that's a complicated mathematical model in many ways. So,
I mean, it's great that we've got computers now to calculate things, because in the past I had to do everything by hand and it just took forever and you made mistakes. But now that out comes the chart, it's got, you know, all its squiggly little figures in it that represent the planets, and then it goes into the 12 houses which look at each of the different areas of someone's life, and that's...
I mean, I must admit, hand-drawing charts was one of the reasons I never got into astrology, because I was reading those books from... Well, I've got all these magical texts and they refer to elements of astrology in terms of, you know, things that are under the rays and...
planetary hours, things like that.
All that sort of stuff, which meant absolutely nothing to me.
I know.
I kind of had to learn a basic bit, but that is a whole other universe too.
Yeah, and I mean, there's things like the planets ruling the days of the week. So Monday is the day of the moon.
That's right.
Tuesday is the day of Mars. Wednesday is the day of Mercury. Thursday is the day of Jupiter. Friday's Venus. Saturday, Saturn. And Sunday, of course, is the Sun. So the 7 traditional planets, 7 days of the week.
And if you go back in languages, so you go back to French or Latin, they're actually named correctly as well.
That way, so you know that in those kind of languages,
Fascinating. I love astrology. I think it's wonderful, and I use a lot of it. But I would never consider myself to be an astrologer. But it's interesting to be able to understand the glyphs and understand, you know, the idea of planetary hours and things like that, and what they mean. And anyone that's interested in astrology should definitely go and have even a small course is good to actually.
Exactly. And if you're interested in finding out a bit more about astrology, go to our website, starsinthecity.com.au. So what a great first show, Gav.
It was terrific, great fun.
And next week we've got a good one too. We've got Dave O'Neill coming in, very excited.
He's good fun.
Yeah, and we're going to look at Katy Perry and Russell Brand.
Oh, can't wait to pull out cards for that lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So see you next week. Until then, may your stars be good stars. Good night.